If you guys have any questions for Carson, use the raise hand function. Matt will go ahead and get started for you with you.
All right, cool. Thanks for taking the time, Carson. The offense was clicking so well earlier in the year, and then just sort of these things keep cropping up that have sort of, I guess, put you guys off course. Is there any rhyme or reason to it? Is it, easy to fix? I don't know. Can you sort of just talk about that a little bit?
I mean, I wouldn't go to say that our offense wasn't clicking necessarily on Saturday. We went, we watched the film yesterday, came in or not yesterday, but Sunday after the game, and we moved the ball really efficiently, honestly. And besides a couple of drives, really where it got stopped short, we moved the ball down the field very well, ran the ball well. I thought the passing game, I mean, was very efficient, and our wide receivers were able to make some explosive plays. But the main problem was just finishing drives, and we get down there and we just weren't able to execute and finish once we did get down there, and we've got to be better at that. So, I think that's what we're focused on. And shoot, we all know what we have to do to be able to be better in that way, and that's what we're going to do and attack. As we head into this week of practice.
Okay, well, I was referring more. I mean, it just seems like you guys are sort of shooting yourselves in the foot with five drops, seven penalties on offense. I was sort of referring to that. I mean, is that something that's easily fixed?
It's just discipline. That's all it is. And each and every day we attack that and we work through it. And everyone makes mistakes. We just can't take turns doing it. I've made mistakes. I mean, everybody else, has made mistakes. And as a team, we've made mistakes, and we have to do our best to try to eliminate those and continue to play the most perfect and consistent football that we can. Put ourselves in good situations, keep ourselves ahead of the chains, not get behind the chains, kind of like you're saying. And yeah, all of that is controllable 100%. And again, it takes all 22. It takes all 22 on offense and defensive side of the ball. And that's what we're going to do and continue to attack as, we look to finish this season and go 1 week at a time.
All right, next up we'll go to Jordan and then Adam.
Hey, Carson, two questions. First off, you guys didn't have CJ last week. It looks like he's going to be out for a little bit longer. The rest of your receiving core, JoJo Trader stepped up. You saw some plays from Keelan Marion. Just how would you feel about some of the guys who may not have had as much production earlier in the season, what they did on Saturday, and how you hope to build on that with them moving forward?
Yeah, I believe we have a lot of depth in that room. And I feel like that's shown throughout the season, even though there's some younger guys that haven't maybe had the production like maybe CJ has had throughout the year. We have a lot of depth and a lot of talent in that room. And I think that came alive and was shown very well on Saturday during the game. So obviously we have full trust and faith in every single one of those guys that goes out there on the field. And we're working throughout the week, walking through stuff, watching film together, getting a bunch of reps in practice. So again, when we go out there on Saturday, I have full trust and faith in them that they're going to go out there and make plays just like they did last Saturday.
And you spoke about how the offense, for the most part, you guys have been efficient in terms of extending drives and whatnot throughout the season. But on the explosive play front, do you feel like there's still more in the tank that you guys can do?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of that is what defenses do against us, right? It's a chess game, right? Football is a game of chess, and it's give and take. So a lot of what we do, sometimes we can dictate what the defense is doing based off of maybe a certain look or emotion, or just based off of what a certain defense does. But sometimes they dictate by the blitzes and coverage and things that they do. So early on in the year, there was a lot of shots. There was uh, just a lot of like more explosive plays, right? And you see a lot of people kind of just playing one high against us and trying to load the box and try to keep everything in front of them to where they're trying to eliminate those explosive plays. So for us, when people do that, you got to take what the defense gives you, right? And you can't try to force things. And I think we did a really good job of that on Saturday. Obviously, we weren't able to finish drives, and obviously the outcome wasn't what we wanted it to be. But again, we just have to continue to execute, and those explosive plays are going to find themselves as long as we stay consistent and continue to try to move the ball efficiently.
Adam will go to you and then Chris.
Hey Carson. So just since Saturday, you guys are in now a bit of a tougher spot, looking ahead to the rest of the season and potential postseason stuff. How have you guys worked on, as elite who are older leaders on the team, worked on making sure everybody's still locked in, even though, the path forward might not be quite as clear. How do you guys stay focused, stay locked in, make sure everything, everyone's still working as hard as they can?
I can speak personally. we just have to control what we can control, and that's my mindset on it. Again, almost a year ago, right? Almost 11 months ago on the date, I tore my elbow, and football got taken away from me for a long time. So for me personally, I'm just blessed and thankful to have the opportunity to be able to come out here every single day, practice, have energy, be with these guys, and still have 4 guaranteed games left to go play and give it everything I have and give everything to this team and for these guys. So again, it's just having gratitude, I think, is the most important thing, and understanding the position that we're in. What's happened has happened, and we can't control what is, going to come either. All we can do is just control each day, day by day, and continue to get better, and then go out and execute on Saturday.
All right, Chris, you'll wrap us up.
Carson, on that final play, as you've had time to watch it again, I'm just curious your thoughts on it. And then also, how do you process that in terms of when a game ends the way that it does, like that for you? Just essentially putting it behind you, getting ready for next game. Just if you could explain that, that'd be great.
Well, sadly, there's nothing I can do to go change that, right? Obviously, I want the play back. There's a lot of plays in my life since I was 6 years old in football, baseball, basketball, and everything that I've ever done, that I want back, right? I'm human. I've made mistakes, and obviously that's a tough one where it's game on the line. It's right there, and I mean the guy makes a great play. Got to tip your hat to him. He undercut it and made a great play on it. So again, obviously, you wish you could go back and change it, but I can't, and I have to move on and continue to get better and continue to play consistent and do what I can for this team and these guys around me. And again, that's what they deserve from me, and that's all I can really do. I can't go back and change it, and I can't think about what's to come. I just got to stay in the present and continue to try to get better and better and finish the season off the right way.
All right, Carson, appreciate you taking the time.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll get you started with Matt.
Yeah, hey Mo, thanks for taking a few minutes here. I wanted to ask you, the motivation aspect of this now. You guys certainly aren't eliminated by any means, but it's going to be a tough road. What are you guys sort of telling each other? How do you keep each other motivated? How are you staying sort of on task, with 2 losses in the last 3 games now?
Well, the losses motivate us just in general. Taking a loss isn't easy for any of us. We're all competitors. We all work hard, and we all come in every single week trying to attack the week so we can get a win at the end of the week. So when we don't get a win, that's not what we're looking for. What we're looking to do going into the game when we don't get a win, it's hard on everybody, and we come back in and we just, tighten up our mindset again, just attack the work week.
All right, next up we'll go to Adam and then Jordan.
Hey Mo, how's it going?
Good, Adam. How you doing?
Doing well. So just looking ahead to Syracuse this week. Just what stands out about their offense? They've struggled in recent weeks. They've had some quarterback issues with injuries and stuff. So just, when you watch them on film, what stands out?
They got a lot of great athletes. They got some good receivers, some good running backs. They got gadget guys that could do a lot of different things. They can put in a lot of different situations and positions. So, just being prepared for the guys like that, different types of schemes, different types of fronts. Like you said, they rotated a lot of different guys at the QB position, so just preparing for everything, and just watching everyone and just studying everything they've done over this season.
All right, Jordan, we'll go to you.
Hey Mo, you guys have had a lot of younger guys having to step up in the front seven, especially when Akeem was out a couple weeks ago and Ahmad was out last week. Justin Scott, Donta Simpson, Marquise Lightfoot, et cetera, et cetera. Just how do you feel those younger guys who are now getting some pretty expansive playing time? How do you feel like they've done in terms of filling in at some needed spots?
I feel like the younger guys have done well. They come out and they prove themselves. They work hard in practice. Talk to a lot of those younger guys, just to focus on the details, because I know what it's like to be in that position at a younger age. You feel a little pressure, but I just tell them, like, there's no need to feel any type of pressure. When you're prepared, when you work every single day, you've been studying this in spring, fall camp, and then throughout the season, and just look to your older guys to lean on when you have questions, and lean on, the players around you as well, because yeah, you're a younger guy, but you're surrounded by vets who know what they're doing and it can help you at the same time.
All right, Matt, we'll go back to you.
Yeah, one more for you, Mo. So we haven't talked to you in a while. Can you just sort of evaluate your own play, how you feel you're playing up to your own standard?
Uh, I don't feel like I'm playing up to my own standard. I feel like I see flashes of myself from time to time, but I just feel like I haven't been playing consistently like myself, and I've been working on that and working on things that I need to get better on. We all need to continue to grow and get better at things, and I study myself, and I'm very hard on myself when it comes to football. Like this is my life. I love this game, love everything about this game, and I've been through a lot, playing this game. So I'm very hard on myself. I know what I want for myself, and just continue to just work on the things that I need to get better at every single day, attacking that.
All right, not seeing anything else. Appreciate you taking the time. Great job.
You guys have a great day.
You too. We'll get started with Adam.
Hey, Keelan, how's it going?
How you doing?
Doing well. So it seemed like you and Carson had a pretty good connection on Saturday, especially on third downs. Just can you kind of walk through what your mindset is on, those key plays like that?
I just try to be ready every time, every time we put the ball in the air or we running the ball and stuff like that. So just try to be prepared when my number's called. You never know when it's coming your way. So I just try to be ready and prepared.
And it seems the last couple of weeks, you guys have been rotating more guys in at receiver. Obviously you're playing CJ's hurt right now, but CJ when he's healthy, Malachi obviously, JoJo, Josh Moore, etc. What's it like? What's the relationship like between you guys in the receiver room, and how do you think it helps when guys are all able to kind of rotate in?
I think it helps us because we are all so close. I mean, we eat lunch together. We do extra work together. We work out. We in the same lift groups and stuff like that. So I think the relationship is very close and tight. We all care for each other. We all could coach each other without anyone getting mad or anything. So I feel like the rotation, we just all be ready to cheer each other on and be ready whenever our numbers call. But that relationship in that room is very, very close.
Jordan, we'll go to you and then Matt.
Yeah, hey Keelan, two questions. First off, fourth quarter, there was a play where you guys were called for holding. There was a flag on the defender against you that ended up getting picked up. Just your reaction on that play, and did you think that there should have been a flag against the guy against you?
Yeah, yeah, I thought that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We just got to move on, play the next play.
And then just overall with the offense, we've seen a lot of good throughout the season. You guys have been able to extend drives and whatnot, but the last few weeks, some penalties, self-inflicted wounds, whatnot. How do you guys clean that up, especially with a lot riding on these final 4 weeks?
We just been in practice trying to clean up the little details, be hard on little details, the penalties, saying drops and stuff like that. We just been nicking at all the little things, trying to make sure we get it right, staying on each other, holding each other accountable to prevent those type of situations from happening in the game.
All right, next up, we'll go to Matt.
Yeah, hey, Keelan. So, you sort of made your name as a really great speed guy, down the field threat. And, just as you look at these pro football focused numbers for whatever it's worth, it just seems like Miami sort of has had to check down a lot and other teams have taken it away. Do you see that? Like, are there just not opportunities down the field? Or maybe can there be some more opportunities down the road somehow, do you think?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that. We always just call our play depends on what the defense is giving us and what defense are they playing or what technique they playing and stuff like that. So that all takes a big part into who we throw the ball to or what we're going to call and stuff like that.
Okay, next we'll go back to Adam.
Hey again. So obviously, things are looking forward to the end of the season and potentially postseason stuff. Things are a little bit tighter, with you guys having two losses. Like you're not eliminated or anything, but it's obviously a little bit tougher road now. How is everyone staying focused? Like, what's the attitude of the team right now? How's everyone kind of trying to lock in or whatever for this last month of games?
We getting ready for Syracuse. Got a great Syracuse team coming in this weekend. So the guys just been bringing that juice on tough. We had a tough Tuesday practice day full of pads and stuff. So the guys just bringing that energy and juice, to be ready for this weekend.
Are there any guys who have maybe stepped up, and maybe in recent weeks, not necessarily like in the last couple of days, but guys who've stepped up as leaders in the last couple of weeks?
Everyone the same. The guys, CC, Coop, all those guys been doing the same thing they've been doing since they've been here. Leading this program to where we're trying to get it to go.
Matt, did you have another one?
I don't, but now I do. Can you just talk about just sort of along those lines, like where the team goes from here, right? You lost two of the last three, but you're not eliminated from anything. How do you get guys to sort of stay motivated, realize that, hey, the season still has stuff that might be left to play for?
We just can't let any, you know what I'm saying, any outsider rap poison and stuff get into our ears and stuff like that. So, we just keep the main thing, stay focused in the building, and, you know what I'm saying, control what we control, handle our business.
All right, well, we appreciate you taking the time, Keelan. Good
Appreciate
job.
you guys having me. Be blessed.
All right, who's got a question for Keionte? Matt, you'll kick us off.
Yes, sir. Hey, Keionte.
Hey, bud.
I'm doing great, and you're doing great. I mean, you came in and you're just dominating. Coming off last year where some people were like, "What happened?" Like, what's clicked? Is it Coach Heatherman's defense? Is it the coaching? Did you do something different personally this year? Like, what has really come together for you to have such a massive season?
I just feel like, where my mindset was last year compared to where it is now and where I have built it up, just kind of did some self scouting, been real honest with myself, heard a lot of the comments that were being made, all those things, and, just used everything and put everything and all that energy that was going against me, towards what I could do better and what I could control, in certain situations and, just focused. And then, now it's just, I use everything I, went through and everything like I said, I've listened to and was, everything that was being thrown at me, I've just used it now on the field. And, I feel like it's powering me.
All right, next up we'll go to Jordan.
Yeah. Hey, Keontae. How have the last couple days been inside the team, especially after again second loss in 3 weeks, just trying to turn the page and try to do what you guys can over this final month of the season?
Yeah, very motivating. I feel like, coaches, strength staff, everybody around the building, our leaders are doing a good job of, just keeping everybody motivated. At the end of the day, we got to control what we can control. And at this point of the season, focus on each week and take each week very seriously, and do what we can do and what we know we can.
All right, next up we'll go to Adam.
Hey, Keionte. Kind of like what Matt was asking about where you've improved. How much of that do you think is maybe playing that nickelback role? It seems like you're excelling in that role as opposed to maybe playing like outside cornerback.
I mean, at the end of the day, I pride myself on being a defensive back. Unfortunate things, occurred last year, and at the end of the day, I pride myself on being versatile. So it's not necessarily something I feel like is an inside and outside thing. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, that I'm in right now, and then the trust the defensive coordinator has in me, the trust my teammates have in me, and just having guys around me everywhere, that are doing their job, and me being able to execute my job, and just me just being able to play football. At the end of the day, I'm grateful.
And then, looking back at the SMU game, you guys did an excellent job of containing the run. Even after they ran a bit in overtime, you still only held them to like 25 yards or so. But then they were still able to throw the ball a good bit. So just when you watch that film, what stands out about things where you guys can improve as a defense, especially against passing teams?
I know I probably sound like a record board, but it comes down to execution at the end of the day. Getting off the field and then 50-50 balls obviously, and then guys just stepping up, as a whole, as a back end, trusting guys, to be where they're supposed to be and different things like that. But also and ultimately comes down to being in that moment and getting and being able to execute your job.
And then I guess I'll keep it rolling. Coach Cristobal said yesterday that OJ Frederique is probably out for at least a few weeks. So there's been a few different guys kind of stepping up, filling that spot, whether it's Ethan or Damari or Jabari Antoine, like a bunch of guys. How have you seen them in practice? Like, how do you guys feel like about them filling in that role?
Yeah, as soon as I got here, that room is very deep in depth. Like you guys hear, Heatherman talk about them all the time. Of just, we're very confident in a lot of those guys. So it doesn't matter who, rolls out there, to start the drive or to end the drive. All those guys can come in and be game changers for us, and they'll continue. You see them, stepping up in practice and getting extra work in, and knowing that, some plates are going to get larger, and different things like that with OJ being out. But, you see guys just stepping up, and that's something you love to see.
All right, not seeing anything else. Appreciate you taking the time, Keionte.
No problem. Appreciate it.
See ya.